As people ask questions about the Bible code, Torah code, how it started, they want to know. So what I'm going to show you now is a long story with many tables, which will explain to us about the Torah code, the Bible code, how they came out to the world, and the different work which was done on it. So all what you see here is Professor Robert Haralick from Grander Center, University of New York. He wrote what you see here, tables which were done by myself, with him together, and it will give you the full story of the Bible code. Very important, I think really one should really see it clearly, because otherwise people think Torah code is a joke, is a game, and nice, is much, much more. So let us see the story first, which tells us in 1976, Rabbi Shmuel Yaniv began working on Torah codes, specifically with respect to religious themes. In the next table, we ask a question, between the table, Bible code table, when did Rabbi Yaniv begin Torah codes? In Hebrew, this question is, Matai Yachel Yaniv Kol Torah? When Yaniv will start Torah code? The question is answered in the table with a sentence in Hebrew, Yaniv Yachel Kol Torah. Yaniv will start Torah code on the year 5736, which is 1976. Yaniv will begin Torah codes in the year 5736, 1976. Those are exactly the translation of these words. Indeed, that is when Rabbi Shmuel Yaniv began studying Torah codes. His first book, Codes in the Torah, was published 12 years later, in 5748, 1988. Since then, he has published 4 additional volumes of the Codes of the Torah, of the Secrets of the Torah. The table produced by the search has a cylinder side 632. It means there's a number of letters in the line. It is interesting that number 632 is the gematria of the tzfunot, codes. The plural of the word sofer, code, meaning code, unbelievable. So even the number of the letters of the table indicates to the subject, which is Torah codes. So this is the question which was asked by the program of the code. When will begin code Torah? Yaniv will begin code Torah 5736. These are the words which were asked, and what we see now is what the program, the Torah codes coming in this program. So let us see. So, as you remember, Yachel Kol Torah, Yaniv Yachel Kol Torah, Torah et Avshilam will begin code of Torah. So Yaniv will begin code of Torah 5736, 1976. So what you see here are those words. Yachel, Matai, when Yachel will start code Torah, Torah code. This is what Yaniv asked, Yaniv. And the year was, the year is 8 Lamedvav, 5736. It is unbelievable that parallel to the question comes exactly the year. Far away from being coincidence, definitely. And here Professor Haralick tells us about this table, cylinder size 632. This table asks the question about when will Torah code begin. In the table is the answer, and it will begin Torah code in 5736. So this was finding by me. I found the most important verse when Torah code will start. And then Professor Rips saw the connection with Yaniv. Then let us carry on. What more we have in this table? So Torah calls the name of God, knowing God. The concealed name of God is Yud-Kei, the first two letters. The revealed name of God is Vav, the last two letters. The complete great name of God is Yud-Kei Vav, the four letters, indicate definitely to the hidden and the revealed. Before our time, Torah codes were associated with the concealed name of God. In our time, the time just before Messiah, Torah codes are associated with the revealed name of God. These ideas are illustrated in the following tables. The first table has a sentence, we will understand Torah code as the language of the great name of God, light of the incomplete name of God. The meaning of this is that up until our day, Torah codes were concealed, hidden, and thus associated with the incomplete name of God. But that today we can understand that Torah codes are being revealed what had been hidden, that which was associated with the incomplete name of God is now revealed in the light of the incomplete name of God. So this is what we are going to see in the table. We will understand Torah code, the language of the great name of God, light of the incomplete name of God. Amazing. This is what the Hebrew word is saying. What is going to come out now? So let us see this. So what you see here, we will understand Torah code as the language of the great name of God, light of the incomplete name of God. So you have code Torah code, name of God, that means the hidden part, Yud-Kei, the language of God, and the light of it. This is what we see here. Then finally by Glazerson and Professor Rips. In our time, the time just before the Messiah, Torah codes are becoming known. As they become known, the revealed name of God is becoming known. Therefore, it is not surprising that there is a table that links the key word Torah code with the revealed name of God. So it is unbelievable as being also in the skip of 632, which is, as remembered, the Gematria of Torah code. So let us carry on. What more we have? In our time, the time just before the Messiah, Torah codes are becoming known. As they become known, the revealed name of God is becoming known. Therefore, it is not surprising that there is a table that links the key word Torah code with the revealed name of God. So what we have in this table are the codes of Torah, which also Torah codes the same thing, and the name of God, the last two letters, which is the revealed name of God. And this is what you see here. Kodei, in fact, even it's Kodim, yeah, codes of Torah, which are Shem, Vav, the name of God, which is the Vav, is the revealed one. This is a soften, this is in blue. So the code, soften and kodim are basically the same. And you have soften and kodim because we are using both soften and kodim. So this is what you have here, soften and kodim, are the name of God, the Vav K. Unbelievable. And this is what Professor Haralick found. Let us carry on and see more. And this is a story that during the time of Messiah, the prophets tell us that all the world will acknowledge and know the one and the same God. As is written, no longer shall any man teach his neighbor, nor any man his brother, saying, Know Hashem, for all them will know me, from their smallest to their greatest. Jeremiah 31:33. With regard to the meaning of what is the meaning of the meaning was the Lubavitcher Rebbe teaches. The verse refers to a direct recognition, to seeing the actual nature of that which is perceived, for teaching is only appreciated when a subject can be grasped rationally, not when the true nature of something is perceived and recognized by direct vision from exile to redemption. So this is where the book of Rabbi Lubavitch is. So, to know by direct recognition requires a sensitizing of consciousness. The first element of this sensitizing is to know that the consciousness of direct recognition is possible. Some will come to know directly, some will come to know various appearances ways to such knowing. One entrance way is to train ourselves to see the hand of God in our everyday situations. Another entrance way is to learn to understand the depths of Torah and its teaching. Another entrance way to knowing that a direct consciousness is possible is through Torah codes. And indeed, there is a table that connects Torah codes with knowing God. It is interesting that this table also has an ELS. ELS is equal letter sequence for the key word Zohar, the main Kabbalah book that gives mystical commentary of the Torah. So let us see. So what you have here in this table, the word da Torah, no God, knowing of God, Sofin Torah, Torah code, and Torah codes, I said Sofin codes are both verbs are used, and Zohar. So this is what you see, Zohar, the codes of the Zohar, and knowing God by coding, by codes of Torah. Amazing, this is what he said. So reinforcing this table is another table that links no God to codes and Zohar with expected number of ELSs of 2050. The probability that the text from the ELS random placement text population would produce S compact, a table S produced by the Torah talks is 11 to 1,000. So let us see this one. Yeah, Dat Hashem, the codes here, and the Zohar, knowing God. Again, Professor Haralick, carrying on, found amazing appearance of a table found by Doron Witzen. What he found, an interesting table whose key word from the sentence is, you will see with clarity hidden codes in my Torah. Unbelievable. So this is what he found. Iru beveru, you will see with clarity hidden codes betorati in my Torah. Unbelievable. Only 50 letters in the line. 50 also is a number of 50 gates of understanding. So here you have Iru beveru, they will see clearly Sofen Chavui hidden code. Betorati in my Torah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Then carry on. This is what really we saw just now. They will see with clarity, God. in the Torah. So this is the same table, but a small change. Instead, in my Torah, I said Betorah. So you have the same thing here also, Yehuva, Beruch, Kodim, in cause in the Torah. You see, this is what really I found. It means basically to make it clear with the Torah, only my Torah, what Torah. Then, very interesting, in this table, as it says in Isaiah, at the time of Messiah, all will see that Hashem has spoken. The glory of Hashem will be revealed, and all flesh together will see that the mouth of Hashem has spoken. Isaiah 45. So what you see in this table, Torah code, which is revealed according to the mouth of God, say. I think this might be Dr. Rothenberg, but the verse is interesting where it appears. So you have your Sofen Torah, written code which is revealed, exactly what is written, the prophet will reveal, and amazingly you have the word, Al Pi Hashem, it will be on the mouth of God saying. Then let us carry on. Also something very important, interesting. We have done a total of 36 experiments. The smallest p-value was 14 to 100,000. The probability that in 36 experiments, the smallest p-value would be as small as 14 to 100,000 is bounded about 5 or 6 to 100,000 by the Bonifone inequality. So this is to do with science. But the Zohar is a principal book of Kabbalah. It is written in medieval Aramic. It is commentary on the Torah, but the commentary is not an ordinary commentary. For the Zohar, the Torah is alive, and is both a lover to and the beloved of its reader. The Zohar contains many secrets of the physical and spiritual universe. It aims to reveal and make plain that which we might not pay attention to or understand because of the ordinary way in which we look at and deal with the world. Its purpose is to elevate the consciousness of its reader. The next table is based on the keywords learning of secret, the Zohar, code, Messiah, and form 5736. Unbelievable. So learning of secret limud Zohar, this secret of the Zohar, the code, Messiah, and all this started from 5736, 1976. All of this you have here, studying, learning, secret of the Torah, definitely, which is in the Zohar, which is in the code, and started Mitavshil Lamedva on 736. The Messiah, because he's a Messianic code, amazing. And all this comes, as Professor Haralick emphasizes, it comes to less than 1 to 10,000. When it is less to, we don't know, it can be even 100,000. So this is fun. Let us carry on. An important teaching in Kabbalah from the Zohar and the writing of Arizal, Rabbi Zikluria, the year 5736, 1976, is an important year. This is the year from which the preparation began above the end of darkness, the redemption, and the Messianic era. And it came to pass at the end of 2 years to the day, Pharaoh was dreaming. This is Genesis 41 now. On this verse, Midrash Rabbah references the verse He set an end to darkness. This was Job, brings in 28, that is an end to darkness. This means there is a limit to darkness. Why is there a limit? Midrash Rabbah, Sansino brings it the following, and this is what he says, that a definite number of years was fixed for Joseph to spend in prison. When the appointed time came, Pharaoh dreamed a dream thus, and it came to pass at the end of 2 years to the day, Genesis 41:1. Who said that time? Midrash Rabbah tells us that it was God who set that limit. God is orchestrating the events. There were these 2 years were the 2 additional years that Joseph was in jail because he said to the minister of cupbearers 2 years before, mention me to Pharaoh, Genesis 41:1. This statement to the minister indicated that Joseph was relying on people instead of God to get him out of prison. For him, this act showed a loss of faith. According to the Kabbalah, imprisonment of Joseph can be likened to the exile of the Jewish people. This dream of Pharaoh, followed by Joseph's impressive interpretation of the dream, and then Joseph's elevation to the second highest position in the land of Egypt, can be likened to the end of the exile. The end of the exile is the beginning of the Messianic era. The Arizal, Rabbi Matityahu, writing in the 1500s, in his book Likutei Torah, page 48, state that this verse indicates to the beginning of the time of redemption, the Messianic era. He reasons as follows. 1 year is the nearest integer 365 days. 2 years is then 730 days. The Ari writes 365 and 35. Shasa comes with the 6 letters. Come to the year 736, not to the number 736, which is basically the time of the year 1976. The Zohar, in commenting on the passage at the end of 2 years, refers to that it regards as a parallel passage in Psalm. Blessed be the Lord, who day by day bears our burden. Psalms 28:20. The phrase, the Lord bearing our burden, is likened to the Lord bearing our exile. The word here translated as Lord in the text is Adon Yod. Adon Yod. The prompts the Ari to this prompts the Ari in Rabbi Zelua to write that when the name of God, which are the letter Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yod, is written out fully. It means the letter Aleph fully is 111 and the Dalet 434 and fully Nun, Vav, Nun 106 and Yod 20 come to 671. Now adding the simple Gematria of the name of God 65, the result is 736. So clear indications in the name of God to the year 5736, 1976. It is interesting that the first sequence of verse in Torah with Gematria 736 is darkness, and God called Genesis. The very next door is to light. The last sequence of verse in Torah whose Gematria is 736 is 30 days, 30 days. Which 30 days are these? These are the 30 days that the Israelite mourns the death of Moses. After this, they left the desert and entered the land of Israel. So in the first case, it is imprisonment of Joseph that precedes his elevation to the second highest administrative post of Egypt. In the second case, it is the darkness that precedes the light. In the third case, it is the desert that precedes the land of Israel. Each can be likened to the exile that precedes the era of Messiah. This time period is called end of days. The Vilna Gaon states in his many books that at the time of redemption, there will be many secrets of the Torah that will be revealed. One of these secrets of Torah is Torah code. It is interesting to note that the Gematria, the numerical value of Kodei Torah, comes to the Gematria 76. The 76 is the 76th of year 5736, because redemption is known to come in the 6th millennium. Now, this is what you are going to see. The Vilna Gaon states in his many books that at the time of redemption there will be many secrets of Torah that will be revealed. One of these secrets is Torah code. It is interesting to note that the Gematria of code, Torah code is 736. That's what we saw before. Now let us see what happened afterward. We use, this is a table we use for our keywords, end of days, as spelled in Daniel 12:13. 5736, in 576, 766, 7 on I, and the keyword code using the Hebrew code. The base table use the keyword 5736 with expected number of equilateral 6 and set to 10. The probability that a text from the ELS random placement text population would produce a table as small as that one produced by Torah text is 6.5 to under 1,000. Unbelievable. And this is a table. End of days. These are exactly the words of the Rabbi Zegloria. The end of days on high. The code will be revealed on 573. 5733, which is 1976. And here you have Ketsayamin, end of days above, because it's not yet down. And what are those code? The code on the year 5736 is minimal in the old Torah. This is what makes the table so highly statistical, as Professor Haralick analyzes the killer signal produced by the search in 1135 with expected number of ELS set to 10. The probability that the text from the ELS random placement text population would produce a table as small as the one produced by the Torah is 6.5 to under 1,000. So what I found is unbelievable. Let us carry on and carry on reading. Let us take comfort. There is a limit to the darkness, a limit that God Himself has set, and the darkness has a purpose. Even if we don't understand it, we announce that perhaps by keeping the faith in the darkness, therefore our keywords are based around the concept of the end of darkness from 5736. We use two spellings for the keyword phrase end of darkness. 6 forms for 5736, 576, in 576, from 576, 76, in 76, from 537. Who creates the end of the darkness? God. So we add 3 forms of God. Great name is a full form of 4 letters. The first 2 letters constituting the concealed part of the name, and the last two letters constituting the revealed part of the name. Two letters, ELS, however, are everywhere and basically tell us nothing. Therefore, we prefix the two letters of the name by the Hebrew for the word name itself. The number of experiments we do total 36 for the 36 different key combinations. Is the expected number equal letter 6 set to 50, the best table the Torah produces uses the keywords end of darkness from 5736 and revealed name of God. The probability that a text from the ELS random placement text population would produce a table as compact as the produced by the Torah is 14 to 100,000. So the table is into darkness from the year 5736, 1976. And then the name of God, the God, the concealed one, was there. Into darkness, and from the year. Okay. So again, analyzing the table, telling us that this really table produced 14 to 100,000. So we see clear connection into darkness, end of days, all goes together. Then, what we have here, so this is what we saw before about the knowledge, learning of Kabbalah and Zohar, which connected with the Torah code. So, what more we see, which is very interesting, and this is quite a long sentence, which is the following. In the language of man, there exists Torah code, great name of God. So this is what you have here. Sofen Torah. In the language of man, there is a Torah code. And all it started from the year 5736, which is 1976. So this brings us back to the beginning. And as I said, what you see are very, very important to know what are the codes and what is the basis of all this idea and how everything is the Torah, which was the blueprint